All right, guys, I'm back at it with another one, and today we're talking authenticity. You know how we're doing this. We're taking a smile at a time, because if not now, when? All right, guys, so today I wanted to talk authenticity, and I wanted to talk authenticity in the sense of like yourself. You know what I mean? So by that, I mean like you got to try not to be like somebody else. And I know there's a lot of quotes out there talking about, only you can be you, don't try to be anybody else because everybody else is taken. You know what I mean? Like, you're the one, you're going to be the best version of yourself and nobody else can be, there's a lot of quotes out there talking about being you and not trying to be anybody else. So that's what I mean by authenticity. You got to be you in the most authentic way you come. You know what I mean? And whatever that is, I know trends change. I know things change. People change the way they dress. They change the way they talk. They change, different aspects of themselves as time goes on. And I get that. But you still got to be you as true as you can be. You know what I mean? Don't try to be like anybody else. Don't try to be like this person or that person or the next person or whoever it is. Don't do that. And the reason I say that is because me, like when you get me, this is me. So like the way I dress, the way I do things, the way I speak, the way I articulate things is me. All right. So if how you see me in these videos, the way I'm speaking to you, that's the way I speak. That's the way I talk. I'm very animated. So you notice that if you met me in person and when I'm talking to you, I might not have maybe a whole lot of hand move, but I'm animated when I speak. You know what I mean? So that's why when you go look at all the other videos, you'll see all my little hand gestures, all the different things that I'm doing with my hands because I'm an animated person. That's the way I speak. I speak and I use my hands. I use gestures a lot, and I do that all the time. So also, when you're with me out in if you were with me just like out and about, you're this is how I am. This is the way I speak. This is the way I do things. The way I dress. It's all me. You know what I mean? I don't copy anybody. I don't try to be like anybody else. I don't try, you may take things from other people and you may try those things. And if that works for you, cool. Don't take someone's whole identity. You know what I mean? So like the way I dress, for example, when I had this a previous job, I dressed for the job. So because of that job involved a lot of hiking and a lot of walking through forested areas and all that type of stuff. I was always in jeans, and I'm always out in the sun, always out in the weather, rain, snow. I've been in different types of weather. The middle of summer, just out there working, out hiking hills and everything. I'm in long sleeve shirts, and some people may think, why you're in a long sleeve shirt when you're out in the middle of summer? Well, I do that because I didn't want to get those tan lines. You know what I mean? When you're wearing a regular t-shirt, you're out there on a hot day, it's hot, you're sweating, that sun's beating down on you, you start building those tan lines. And that's never something I've ever been fond of. So I would wear long sleeve shirts. But the long sleeve shirts I would wear were always good at what is that? Wicking sweat, or then helping. It was real breathable material, so it would help you to where you're not getting overheated. You're not gonna get a heat stroke or get heat exhaustion or anything. So it was real breathable and it would help wick sweat. So it was helpful. It was beneficial. But I'm also not getting those tan lines that I don't like. You know what I mean? So, and actually, if you look, I've never really even got them around here because, like I said, they were long sleeves. So I didn't have it to where like everything is light and then this is dark. It didn't work out that way. Like I'll show you right now, I got it on my watch. You know what I mean? So that's the way I would dress at work. And the reason I bring that up is because outside of work and actually also at work, always had a hat on. Never these ones. These ones I saved for outside of work. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want these ones to get ruined. But I do have hats for work. So I would always wear those. They'd get dirty. I'd always buy a new one or whatever the case may be with hats. But when you see me outside of work, that's when you see me shorts, sleeveless shirt all the time. A matter of fact, I take my kids to school and there's a guy there I speak with, I see him all the time. And he's like, hey, you're still in a short sleeve shirt, you're no sleeves. You're still in shorts. I was like, yes, it's the way I dress. You know what I mean? He's like, oh man, he was actually, matter of fact, today when I took my kids to school, he actually said to another guy, he was, oh yeah, he's always dressing like that year round, even in the winter. So in the winter, yes, I do still stick with the sleeveless shirts. I got some thicker ones that, thicker material. So anyway, uh, that's my wardrobe. That's the way I dress. Winter, I do have some pants that wear, and they're not jeans, but it's still like the same type of material or whatever. But that's the way I dress. That's me. I don't follow trends. I don't, here and there, I may pick one up, but I don't stick with it. I stick to what I like, and that's it. And I don't care what anybody thinks. Hey, you got to jump on this trend. You got to do this. You got to do. Nah, I'm going to do me, and I'm always going to do me, and no one's going to change that. That's what I'm saying is you have to be authentic. Don't try to copy these other people. Like the things I come up with, those are mine. I'm not trying to take anybody else's thing. Any other motivational speakers, I do follow them, but I don't try to take their stuff. I don't try to take their logos or their catchphrases or anything they come up with. I don't like to copy people. I don't like to do that because then you're going to get called fake. And that's what you don't want. You don't want to be called fake. You don't want to, oh, you know what? Don't even listen to him. Don't go watch his videos because he's trying to be like this person. He's trying to be like that person. He's trying to do this. A good example that I want to reference is Terrell Owens. And the reason I want to bring up Terrell Owens is because if you watch football, who do you know of that did the things Terrell Owens did? You know what I mean? So what I mean by that is who other than Terrell Owens before Terrell Owens, and I'll even put it at that, before Terrell, people might have copied him after the fact, but everyone knows, oh, that was Terrell Owens. You know what I mean? So who do you know of before he did it, pulled out a Sharpie and signed a football right after he got a touchdown? Nobody. I don't think I know anybody that did that. So that's why I like to. Terrell Owens was himself. I think there might have been drama with some teams he was on or whatever the case was with that. I don't know, so I can't speak on that. But he was him. He was himself. He was his authentic self. You know what I mean? You start running into, I think he was running into trouble with other teams or whatever. And, people ain't too fond of that, but he was still his most authentic self. So that's what I'm trying to tell you is when you're, whatever it is you want to do you, be you. And another thing about that is another reason you don't want to copy other people and you don't want to be like this person or that person or the next person is because everyone has their own little style. Everyone has their own little swag. So that they bring that to whatever it is they're doing. So you might not be able to do it like that person. You might be able to bring that same energy, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? This person's energy is right here, and you can match that, if not exceed that. That's fine. That's okay. That's 100% fine. Don't do what that person's doing, though. Whatever that person's doing to bring that energy here and how he's acting and what he's doing, don't do that. Even if you could be here, don't do that. Be you. If you don't act like that person, that's not your style, don't do it. Do whatever you feel, whatever you do, whatever makes you, do that. Because I'm telling you, everyone like I said, because everybody has their own style and their own way they do things, their own way they speak, they articulate things. Everyone has their own little way of doing it. So you're going to be able to bring a style and a swag that nobody else has. And then if people start copying you, first off, I'd say that's a good thing only in the sense of people are trying to be like you, which means you're giving something off. You're resonating with people to where, oh, I got to be like that. I got to start doing that. I got to do this. You know what I mean? And they start want to copy maybe little things about you. Maybe not to take your whole style and all your swag, but you know what? I like the way he dresses. I think I'm going to start dressing a little bit like that. You know what? I like those hats he's wearing. I'm going to start getting me some hats like that. You may not be a fan, but you may get it for your team. You know what I mean? I'm going to start getting that. I like that hat. I'm going to see if my team has one like that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't copy anybody. I try not to do, I stick with me. I do my thing. I don't copy anybody. So, and I know I bring something and I'm doing this in a way that other people aren't doing it. You know what I mean? Or at least I'm doing it in my way, in my style, with my most authentic self. And that's what you got to do. All right? Because like I said, you're going to be able to bring a style and a swag that nobody else has. And if you can really start taking off and blowing up with it, now everybody's going to be, oh, did you see how he did that? Did you see how he did that? Odell Beckham, I think I think other people, like Jerry Rice, I know, has hit some one-handed catches. You know what I mean, in football. No one really spoke about it. You know, other people have done it before Odell Beckham did it. But the thing with Odell Beckham Jr. is the fact that is that one catch that I think he's famous for. Is I forget who what team it was, but when he jumped up, caught that thing and reached back and like brought it in while going to the ground and kept it in bounds. Look it up. I'm pretty sure. You just look up Odell Beckham's famous catch or something like that. I'm pretty sure something will come up, and you'll be able to see that play, if not other plays that he had that were similar. But Odell, like all these, look at the football players. A lot of them follow their own thing. They do their own thing. They're not copying other people. You don't see other people coming out with Sharpies signing footballs. First off, you're going to get fined for it. So I don't think anyone wants to get fined. They don't want to get in trouble for it. But nobody else is doing it. Because then, oh man, he's just copying Terrell Owens. He's just copying Odell. He's just copying this person. He's just copying. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes to be labeled as a jock, as a copier. You know, you're copying, you're stealing, you're fake, you're this, you're that. Nobody likes that. You know, that's why they call a lot of people, I think that's why a lot of people get labeled as two-faced. Because you're this way in front of these people, but this way in front of you're not authentic. You gotta be authentic. That might be one way they call it. Some people call it two-faced. That might not be the full thing, but like I said, you got to be your most authentic self, so that when you're out in public and people see you, the way you present yourself, the way you know everything about you, you're still gonna do that even in a professional setting. You know what I mean? And I don't mean nothing bad by that. It's just like how you are, the way you are in a professional setting. If you're still that same way, when you get off work and you carry yourself that same way, that says, you know, you're being you. You're not changing. Don't get me wrong. You might have to change little things about yourself depending on the environment you're in. And I understand that. I get that. I lived out in a ghetto area. So when I'm out in that area, I was acting a little ghetto, I was acting in response to my environment. You know what I mean? But I've been to those nice dinners where you got to act a little more, how would I say, you got to be like, you got to have your manners, you know? So like I said, you can pick and choose when, you know, how you're going to act in whatever environment you're in. And that's okay. That's fine. As long as you still carry yourself the same way and you're still the same person by the end of the day. You know what I mean? Some people get so consumed in trying to be someone they're not, even if they're not trying to be like this person or that person, they get so consumed in trying to be someone they're not. It gets to the point where when they do decide to try to be them, be themselves, they don't know who they are. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to speak to people. They don't know how to do things their own way, their most authentic self, because they don't know what their authentic self is. You know what I mean? So that's why you just be you. Then you don't have to run into that point where now I need to be me and you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to act. You don't know how to speak. You don't know, you know what I mean? Like you don't know anything because you've never been your authentic self. You be your most authentic self. And once you can provide that, you can do that, you can show that, and people see that, yeah, this guy's genuine. This guy is like, hey, that's typical of him. Oh yeah, that sounds like him. You know what I mean? I've had friends talk about other friends and everything, and they're like, someone would tell me something like, when I was working one time, someone's like, oh yeah, so-and-so did this, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like that person. You know what I mean? Because that person is their authentic. Be you. That's all I'm trying to say is be you. Be your most authentic self. And then when your time comes to blow up, your time comes to become successful, your time comes, you know, your time in the spotlight is there, and it's your time to shine. Everyone's going to be able to embrace that more and take that in more, because I've seen your first video, or I've seen when you first started up to now, and I've seen the growth, but you were always you. You owe it to yourself just to be your most authentic self. So that's my message today. Just be you. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about the haters, or no, remember what I said? What was that? Closet fans. Don't worry about your closet fans. Don't worry about anybody that's trying to, don't worry about other people that are trying to be other people. Let them do them. Let them, some people don't want to listen to that. It's like, oh, well, I'm still going to go ahead and they still might try to be somebody else. They still might try to be a different character, I guess you could say, and not themselves. Cool. Some people are going to take this message and going to run with it. And then you might be able to you might be able to start doing, he's right. And then doing things, this is how I would do it. So this is how I would write this down. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I would make my videos. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let nobody tell me anything different. But if people have come with you with hey, this is something I think you can improve on, cool, take that. But don't change who you are in the process. Okay? So that's the whole thing today, is just be your most authentic self, and people are going to embrace it. People are going to they're going to love you for that, just because you're your most authentic self. This is me. This is the way I am. And yes, I am also still trying to improve and get better in different aspects of my life. But I'm always going to be me. I don't, like I said, I don't jump on trends. The way I dress is the way I dress. The way I do things, the way I do things, the way I speak, and the way how I'm animated. I'm not going to be here just talking to you like this and try to sound monotone. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about today. Nah, we ain't doing that, because that's not me. You know what I mean? What you see in these videos, this is me. I told you, I'm animated. I'm always gesturing with my hands and everything. That's just the way I am. And I'll use it when I feel it's necessary. But a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes it's not necessary. So, you may see little hand movements, just a little bit, because I can tone it down. All right. So and I'm naturally a loud person. You know what I mean? So that was actually one thing that let me know that I think this is what I'm meant to do, is motivational speaking, because I'm naturally a loud person. You know what I mean? So, and I remember I was at work, and I'm all talking, with the group of workers, because we had a little muster. So we're all talking about what we're doing that day and everything. And I went and I said my piece on, I think I was talking safety. So I mentioned what I had to say about safety. And this is in a group outside and everything. And I remember one of the guys came up to me and he was like, hey, you know what I like about you is when you speak, you know how do you say it, project your voice. And I was like, hey, well, I think my voice is a little deeper than normal. And on top of the fact is I'm just a loud person. He goes, yeah, but you're good at projecting your voice so that other people can hear you. And that's when I started putting together about what, that's kind of what helped me decide on doing this, and let me know that, hey, this is what I was meant to do, because I'm a loud person and I can articulate things, and I'm an animated person. You know what I mean? So you might get some little entertainment while you're watching my videos. You know what I mean? So like I said, just be your most authentic self, and I'm telling you, people are going to embrace it, and people are going to just love you that much more, and just, you're going to be able to increase that, your fans and everything, the fans, followers, or whatever you get, they're just going to be able to embrace you that much more, because, yep, that's just like him. That is something he would say. That is something he would do. And I'm telling you, you're just going to you're going to be more appreciated for it, because you're not trying to be who you're not. So that's what it is today, is just be your most authentic self. And I'm telling you, you're going to be able to reach places you didn't even think were possible, because you're being you. And ain't nobody can be you but you. And then you have your own little style and your own little swag to it that nobody else is going to be able to steal. Because once they start doing what you do, start taking your catchphrases and start taking what you know what I mean? They start doing all that. Now, they're just copying him. You know what I mean? And I already explained how that was somewhat of a good thing, but also not. So, like I said, be your most authentic self, and people are going to embrace you and love you and appreciate you that much more for it. All right, so that's what I got for you today. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, feedback, all that fun stuff. And like I said, we're taking this a mile at a time. But if not now,